Hey, hi. Um, I've been trying to figure out how I should tell this story. I mean, I want to be as accurate as possible, and at the same time, I don't know. I guess it's just a sad story. Right before COVID, things were going really well for me. I was making more money than I ever had in my life. I was looking to buy a house with cash, put it that way. Nice house with cash. Money saved. And I was actually able to work on studies, things that I had been studying all my life, but I wanted to study. And was in a position to put some time toward it. COVID hit. When COVID hit, something didn't seem right. Everywhere I looked, and I had been paying attention to all of the sources everywhere. I was doing stock trading and other things. I saw a lot of things happen that made me say, what in the world is going on with this world? It's not operating the way that it should. Something's wrong. Instances like, control over the stock market. I realized that, the stock market operates as like a quantum clock, and it runs pretty much two things: Wyckoff accumulation and Wyckoff distribution, from 1 second clock all the way up to the 10,000 year clock. It's a myria. Yeah, I thought that was big knowledge. I also noticed that after hours they were buying and selling, the computer was buying and selling stocks to reset the stock prices back to where they want them. It's all controlled. Now, the stock market was one thing. I mean, I could always recognize algorithms and things like that, but I thought, man, this is just ridiculous. So they have some kind of, it's just all a scam, they're writing the future. And then I started just wanting to, to walk in the way of science and exploration to see what the world was all about. And when COVID hit, I saw a bunch of people, including Pfizer, including all these medical professionals that were being warned. I saw this want and desire to get this vaccine out to everybody and to have everybody take a shot. So I paid special attention to it. I had also invested, I don't know, 400 or 500 grand into Palantir, the company that was doing the handling the tracking. Got up to almost $1.2 million. Anyway, around the same time, I knew my whole family was going to take the shot, so I had to check it out. So I went and took one of the shots to see what it was about, and I almost died. And during this time, I was looking for ways to resolve it and trying to use my whatever knowledge I had to save myself, which I did. I had to go on blood thinners and other things, in order to beat that thing. Because later it was found out that there was graphene oxide inside of the Pfizer medicine. Hell, not medicine. There was no COVID. There was only the shot. And the shot was killing 1 out of 2,000 people. They attacked mankind. And they attacked mankind. And I looked at all of the people who were co-conspirators and just disgusting people, and I just couldn't believe it. Well, I wanted to help, so I made the video, the device to remove graphene oxide from blood, and I made a device. One of my first attempts, a crude device, but it would have worked. Electromagnetic coagulation, using magnets to pull it and hold it into one place and then to extract it. Anyway, intravenously. But, or with extract it with a needle, as much as you could. Can't get it all out. But I saw as they pushed it, they mandated it, and all of these disgusting, I knew the leaders, the in-chiefs, the administration's leaders. I knew they were disgusting, but I knew that I didn't know they were this horrible. During that time, I watched this, the news came out about AIPAC controlling everything as far as in the government, who gets to be where. And all of these people, I watched as down the chain, people were warned to get in line. If they didn't get in line, then they would have a problem. Well, I wasn't one of these people that got in line. I was one of those people who fought it from the very moment I saw it. Giving them condemnation for their acts and for their unrighteousness, for their evils, blatant evils. At that time, I spiritually, I was getting, because of my righteousness, I was getting more in tune with righteousness. And it led me back to the search for my Father. When I made the video, the device to remove graphene oxide from blood, about a month or so before, I'd had a dream. A couple months before, I had a dream. And in this dream, I dreamed the flow of light turning into matter. I saw it polarize and then turn into the subatomic crystal. I always imagined a lot of things, and before I went to sleep, it's just in my head. I've been searching for how nothing becomes something all my life. I have a very powerful imagination where if I close my eyes, I can see photons, call them, and then do stuff with them. But it was the theory of how light turned into subatomic crystal, or into subatomic twirling, I call it. But really, it's a seed lattice that emits the frequency that allows light to rest and to lattice into hydrogen and everything else on the periodic table, latticing along the nodes of its song. Everything is a light song. That's what everything is. Of an irrotational vortex of alternating current light, matter, polarizing into such, and then depolarizing back into direct current light at consummation. When it becomes too large in mass, it gets eaten by its black holes. We see the golden ratio in galaxies because it's a frequency. It's a frequency that's being emitted from the very start of the galaxy to the end of the galaxy. And my father, I realized, that these crystals and the polarization of crystals is something very important to study and learn. So I studied very hard, and I learned a lot about the polarization of of electromagnetic energy and photonic energy and light through crystals. I did some experiments. I did a lot of experiments that led me to study the Egyptians and into anything involved in crystals. And then I learned more about the study of sonic resonance and frequency being emitted by the crystals when photonic polarization is being driven. I learned a lot just in a short amount of time. 5 years studying the hieroglyphs, still studying them now. And I learned a lot of things. Whenever I look at anything, it seems to just make sense to me. I've always been able to reverse engineer what things are, but finding the smallest thing and the biggest thing, it allows you to complete the picture of what our existence is. That's what I wanted. I wanted to know that. Then I wasn't going to tell anybody. I didn't care because I figured even if I did tell people, they're not going to care. Not this world. But I told you anyway. I told everybody everything I can. I gave as much mathematical evidence as I could, as much knowledge. Well, not as much as I could, but I gave a lot. And then during that time that I learned of this lawlessness, this imperial presidency, and this, in the history of our social party rank contracts and the establishment of this United Nations and all of the agreed terms upon which mankind has agreed, even going back to the Papal Bulls. We learned of all of our trust and how we were put together. I learned that our Father in heaven is truly real and truly is great. And I asked him. I asked for it. I asked to be able to help mankind. Because first I learned about the pledge, bailment, chattel slavery, and I figured, I'm just another slave. But then I realized, looking through the contracts, about the middle name creating titles of nobility when unregulated in social party rank contracts that are name entitlement contracts. These things, I truly feel that, I'm going to say this, I truly feel that I was called by our Father in heaven. I didn't have any angels come to me. I'd love to have an angel come to me and say something. I'd love to have some help. But I feel that, as strange as it is, I have to mention this. While I haven't had any angels, I had a long period of time where I would be woken up in the morning in between 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning and, just would tap into something and be, I don't know, feel like I was being spoken to. I know it's weird. Not to mention dreams and dreams and dreams, many, many, many strange dreams. I don't know what to call it. But I did have a vision of our Father, which terrified me. And it was like he was calling to me. It terrified me. Couldn't see him. See his throne. Bright light shining at me. It seemed so real, it just terrified me so much. I made some things and I designed a lot of inventions. But with the crystals and and there's so much more I want to design. And gold. It's dirt, but other than the fact that it's the best, reflector of sound and makes molecular coherence stronger. You know, um, it really is the most valuable thing. But not the gold of this earth, I found. Mm-mm. The gold of this earth is a wretched thing, of which people are securitized by the gold of our Father in heaven, which is wisdom of eternal life, by the way of obedience. That's real gold. You know, for me, I just want to be loved by our Father. So I do His will. Truly. And I become more righteous every day. And it's hard. But if I can do it, you can do it too. So I'm trying. And I'm going to, for all of us. And you're going to do the same too. If you love Him, you're going to fight. So I spent a lot of time studying the law and tried to fight them legally, and I have assumed, as wild as this sounds, the anointed title of Christ. And I can't really tell anybody, because when I did, they think I'm crazy. They don't comprehend the law at all. No one comprehends the law. They walk around bound by pledge bailment with no comprehension of their social contract, or the mark upon the forehead of who they claim to be, and that which they have agreed. Ignorance run amok, evil abound, and yet I fight. It's all about love. So there's no reward for me. You see, my reward is that I loved you, and maybe a couple of you will change your ways. That's my reward. I don't think any of see, I'm a spirit, just like you, you're a spirit. And we're going to get eaten up. And no matter what you guys do to me, unless you can find a way to get me out of out of the cycle, divert me out of the cycle. Even if you divert me out of the cycle, I'll still come back, just like you'll come back. We're not just limited to what you see here. We get mixed up over and over and over again in these consummations, yet we keep coming back. I can't understand that. We're one spirit of successive cycles where our spirits come back over and over again until our Father picks one of our spirits and lifts us up so that we can have salvation and live eternally. And the ride's almost over. He's not going to keep doing this. It's changing the nature of the universe, which could just come. But He found a way to communicate with us, with the next cycle coming, and the next cycle, and the next cycle, and built a way to a sanctuary where you don't have to get eaten by the black hole. All the technology from all these Earths that have come, and we think we're the smartest, but you won't believe it. And I'm telling you, the stores of wisdom are of all the prior cycles, all the modified God-created cycles. We have the technology. Make anything. And it's inheritance for those who believe. They didn't want to confirm a covenant for 7 years, but I am have been for 6 years now. I will for 7 years. Do I care what happens to me if they come grab me and sneak me off, or you get rid of me? No, I don't care. I'll be back. Punishment's already in. This Earth's already been judged. They gave me an eternal, perpetual kingdom. And I know I'm an eternal, perpetual being. I'll keep coming back. But you stole everything from my father. That's the thing that made me the most angry. Because I can forgive almost anything that man has done. Or anything that you would do to me. All that you've done to my brethren. I will not forgive it. If being asked to judge it righteously. But what you do personally to me, I can forgive it. But the offense to the king and the crown and the law, and the offense of naming me as a capitalized king when my father is the real king. He's the king, the capitalized king. He's the God, the deity, the only one who saves, because he came up with this plan for salvation. That makes me angry, very, very angry. I was angry because of many things. What you caused, what your forefathers caused. Now, really, rebellion. What rebellion has caused. I can't even blame you. I blame those who came down. And Father was taking care of them. But you, who are left on this planet of my day, who did what you did, who continue to do what our forefathers did, we're continuing to allow mankind to be enslaved. You don't want the grandchildren and your great-grandchildren and your great-great-great-grandchildren to be free. You want them to be pledged, bailment, chattel, slaves. You want the unrighteous to take over the earth contractually and take all of our blessings. Well, our Father sent me here to stop that, and that's what I'm doing. Because I have the right. Emmanuel came, and he brought righteousness back. He built this kingdom. Well, really, kingdom kind of went on a tangent and built itself, but after, the apostles passed away. But I think the devil wanted Peter and to assume his office. And gave everything where we're at today to me. Excommunication from trust is a serious thing. My bishops, my servants of the Holy See, I ask you, are you wise enough to know the law? To know that everything, do you know the terms of the unum sanctum trust? When Christ is anointed, you are simply to obey. If you do not obey, then it's a great rebellion. You are causing a rebellion if you do not obey. And if you don't obey, you are a rebellious assembly of criminal sound justice, and you hold stolen majesty. And if you hold stolen majesty, that's high treason. What shall the punishment be? It should be excommunication from the eternal, perpetual remembrance of my kingdom. That's what it shall be. And it's been prepared. It's being prepared. Next cycle, it's gather everyone up, and then no more for you, no more comebacks, no more resurrections of your spirit. You'll be happy one last final time, but then that's it. You have a chance to turn. I know you recognize the unrighteous ways of some of those who, of many of those, in this, of what they've done to children in the church. I've seen many of you try and defend it. There is no defense for their abominations, their history. And they say it's warriors of the Most High. Well, I am a warrior of the Most High. I fight with my words and the truth, righteousness, and justice, and true majesty that was anointed to me contractually by our world, by all those that are bond. The nations have made me the capitalized king and have redeemed. My orders are to you to cease this rebellion, to cease the bonding, to recognize that I have redeemed, not delivered, all of the descendants of the Israelites. Yeah, Yep, all the copper-colored people. You're free. That's all you're doing, is just bonding up yourself. I want you to release all of the books that are being hidden of the prophets. I want you to confess your sins publicly, each of you, in a video. Maybe make a sincere video confessing your sins. Sincere. Will give you an opportunity for an appeal. I'm very serious about these things. You've placed some serious, you've done some serious damage to this world. But if you turn, some of you can be saved. Actually, you may not want to. Maybe you have a death pact, I don't know. I look at sometimes your individual acts sometimes and I wonder, is he righteous, or are they righteous, or are they wretched? I've seen some very righteous people go in, and I've seen some wretchedness come out. But I can't judge all the acts of those who are in my administration individually. I have to judge the whole administration together, because the whole head is sick. It comes from the head down to the tail. The whole thing is sick. These ways, this following these false, those who say they're Jews and who are not, those of the synagogue of Satan is following them. It's insane. It will lead to destruction, because unfortunately desolation comes for them for what they've done. So I haven't treated you many times by correspondence, and you've repudiated me, and you lead this rebellion, don't you? I think you do. You oversee it. For you, dire punishment awaits, on recognition, and faith that is unimaginable upon resurrection. We're going to be parting ways. getting evicted. Anyway, this is what happened. My story. I became the king of nations by all the evil people in the world getting together to try and steal everything by annexation, by bankruptcy, annexation, tenure in capite, by creating these chiefs, these kings, lower kings of each state, and then a king over them. And by international treaties, establishing high contracting parties over these annexations, they stole everything. And then tried to legalize it by incorporating canon law and then sanctum trust. Well, now you've placed yourself where it's mine. I get to redeem everything now because you ran around with this entitlement by name and enslavement of mankind plan. It succeeded so well that now you have to give me what's mine. And if you don't give me what's mine, well, I'll still get it eventually because it's a term of perpetual agreement. It's mine. It's always mine. It's not changing. And as far as all of you, everything that you've done or that you would try to do that's repugnant to the law, it's null and void. You cannot. This door my Father has opened for me, none shall close it. Let's put it that way. Yes, none shall close it. But this isn't what I would hope for anyone. Being the king I get to run around being a regular person. But look at my hands. Look at these. All the cuts and bruises. Look at this. Treated like a slave. Out every day. Serving the foreigners. Trying to stay alive so that I can keep fighting every day. Suffering the curses. Feeling the void of happiness. The want to create. Feeling unloved. Very unloved. And yet I know that I am not. And that my Father loves me. All of us. So, anyway, that's what I had to say today, and we'll talk more later.